Well, hello. This is Jonathan Labman recording in Hollycong, Pennsylvania, in eastern Pennsylvania in the U.S. And today is Thursday, the 14th of November. So you have to look down at the date. Who even knows? And I'm happy to be with you. Today I wanted to talk about thoughts and thinking again, because I believe that if you're going to advance in your psychological healing or your spiritual awakening, my experience tells me you're going to need to learn a lot about how your thoughts affect your life and later how your emotions affect your life. So I've done one video on thought, and I wanted to dive in a little deeper and share my model with you that I call the three-ring circus of the mind. And the three-ring circus is made up of three categories of thought. Sometimes they cross over a bit, but I think they really help my students and clients, the people that I've worked with, and certainly they help me to sort out what I'm thinking and what it's about. And then the all-important question, is the thought that I'm having absolutely true? Can I absolutely know it's absolutely true? So the three rings that I use as a model are like a three-ring circus. So the first ring is, we'll draw it over here, okay? All of your thoughts about yourself. Most of which you've learned, well, all of which you've learned from somebody else, really, and then later made conclusions about their thoughts that refer to you in your own mind. So you base your thoughts about yourself on what other people have said about you, in other words. The second ring that I put in the middle is all of your thoughts about what other people are saying, thinking, and doing when you're not around them and can't ask them. And then the third ring is all of your thoughts about the future. And you'll find elaborate information about this in my book, Being Human and Waking Up, but I'd like to present this a little more casually here. So today I want to talk about the first ring, which is all of my thoughts about myself. And all of my thoughts about myself, again, come from the past. What I am doing in this moment, recording, my senses are registering the sensations, and then I'm reporting on the sensations. So speech and thought, remember, is always after the fact, after the actual experience. When we're talking about our thoughts about ourselves, we have hundreds or thousands of thoughts about ourselves. And what I see for almost everyone I've ever worked with is in the middle of that circle, number one, that I call thoughts about the self, is a little black hole. It's sort of the thing that causes you the most trouble in your life, which is one of these following thoughts. I'm sinful, I'm wicked, I'm bad, I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, something of that sort. Or I should be ashamed of myself, or I'm guilty, or I'm wrong. Over and over again, the same variety of things is that just because I'm a human being, I'm flawed, and there's something wrong with me. And I start out with sort of this kind of lead safe hanging over my head of negativity about just being alive and being human. So a lot of the thoughts that we have that reinforce this. So it's a core belief that we hold. Almost everybody that I've ever worked with holds this belief that there's something wrong with them. And then that belief gets reinforced because it gets acted out. So if I believe there's something wrong with me, for instance, if I believe that I'm immoral because I'm gay, for instance, which is actually true in my case, when I originally came out and started to live according to my own sexual orientation, according to my attractions, I felt like, actually I believed and was taught that gay people were immoral. And so I started acting as if nothing I did really mattered in the world of morals or ethics. And I started making a lot of mistakes and probably made a lot of enemies and certainly hurt a lot of people. So that's an example of how a core belief about us or about something about us, like what does it mean to be gay, led to a whole set of behaviors that eventually proved to be harmful and destructive and hurtful to my life and to the lives of others. Eventually, I had to take a look at that belief, oh, well, gay people are immoral, and say, yeah, that's not really true. I was taught that by people who believed that just by virtue of being gay that you are automatically immoral. Also not true. So you've got to go back and look at, what do I think about myself? What do I believe about myself? And how am I acting that out? Now, if your mother taught you that money was dirty, for instance, I heard an example about this on a podcast the other day. You pick up a penny in the gutter. Your mother goes, ew, money's dirty. Look at that. That's full of filth. And you throw it away. That teaching by your mother in that moment, even though it wasn't meant to be generalized, gets generalized by your childhood mind. And you find yourself thinking that, oh, it's really bad and wrong and dirty of me if I ever have any money. So you find yourself making money and then somehow or other losing it all the time. This is another example of how a thought about yourself, or a thought that you learned that you think is about yourself, oh, if I like money, there's something wrong with me, that will influence your life, your choices, your view of yourself, and your emotional life. So when you start to have a thought about yourself, or you notice that you're having a thought about yourself, a very simple thing that you can do is, if it helps you, write it down and then take a look. Can I absolutely know this thought is absolutely true? For instance, can I know that because I'm almost 70 years old, I can't work and can't do things and I'm at the end of my life and can't contribute to the world anymore? If I believe that old people are unable to contribute to the world, then I'll start falling apart and not doing anything. But because I actually think that's a lie, I actually know that's a lie, I'm continuing to work and continuing to contribute and continuing to offer love and truth and whatever wisdom I have to the world. So whatever the thought is that you catch in your mind about yourself, ask yourself, can I absolutely know this thought is absolutely true? Another example I like to use is, if you think that you're a wonderful athlete and that means that you can rappel down a cliff face just by watching a YouTube video, you better think again. You better ask yourself, can I really know that just because I'm an athlete, I'm going to be good at this kind of activity? Because what you might find is you get all the equipment, you put it on, and you end up hanging upside down by your heels, nobody around to help you. That would be that would be a bad thought that you had about yourself, bad because it's not true, bad because it puts you in danger. So when you're looking at, what am I thinking about myself, you'll notice that it's often negative, and when it's negative, it comes with a bad feeling. If it's negative about you, especially if it's not really true, it'll come with sadness or anger or fear. So if you really want to begin to clean up your life and to remove the obstacles from just having a normally successful human life, you need to start looking at what thoughts are going through your head and how they're influencing you. And so that is a little expose on what I mean by all my thoughts about myself in this little circle, or this first ring of the 3-ring circus of your mind, if you want to use that nice model, the 3-ring circus. Might be before your time, but I remember 3-ring circuses, so I like it. Anyway, this is John Labman. I hope this has given you some food for thought. Ha ha. And I will see you next time I make a recording. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.